Vietnam veterans were welcomed home over the weekend after a trip to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's part of the Rocky Mountain Honor Flight. Meteorologist Lauren Robinson and photojournalist Austin Knox show us the moments when they visited the Arlington National Cemetery.
The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard, in keeping with the dignity of this.
Where we're standing right now is holy. It's a tribute. It's Americans that passed on that didn't have the opportunity to live the next day. So how am I living my life? That could have been me. That could have been any of us that were left behind, and now they're accounted for in this glorious place.
Post and orders. Remain as directed. Orders. Acknowledged.
Forward. March.
The honor to be present during this wreath laying will last forever. I felt that also that I wasn't alone here, that this group has opened my eyes to that I can belong with them. It'll probably never happen in my life again.
U.S. Army reservist and our weather impact team meteorologist Lauren Robinson was also on that journey, and she joins us now. So, you know, that was such a deeply unpopular war.
Right.
And those veterans just, I mean, it took years for people to finally understand what they went through.
Right.
But they never got the respect they were just deserved.
Right, and in a lot of ways, a lot of these veterans are still unpacking everything because when they got back from war, like you said, it was highly unpopular. Many said that they were booed, spit at, called names, said terrible things to, and they just kind of had to deal with it. Mental health and talking about your emotions and seeking therapy and counseling, that wasn't a big deal 50 years ago like it is now. And so a lot of these veterans were kind of stuck bottling it in. So when we finally went and we saw these memorials, specifically the Vietnam Veterans Memorial on the wall with their names of their family and friends that were on the wall, you know, so many of these emotions came pouring out for these veterans who said they didn't even know that that was in them. They didn't expect to have this kind of a response just to seeing names on a wall, and it came out. And many said that they're happy they finally got to release these emotions because, one, they didn't really know they were in there, but once they started coming out, they just really welcomed having all of this emotion out and being able to tell their side of a story.
Talk about the welcome home as well. I've seen those videos of everybody coming in at DIA and there's American flags and everybody's cheering and saying welcome home. That is the welcome home that they never got so many decades ago.
Right, and that's why I think these Vietnam veterans may have had it especially bad because their fathers, their uncles went to World War II and came back and they were heroes. Everyone was so happy to welcome them back. People were taking part in doing their part to help in World War II, and that was the big message there. Next, Vietnam War comes along for a lot of these veterans, and they're thinking that they're going to have the same welcome home that their fathers and their uncles got, and it was different and in such a depressing way. And a lot of these veterans were also saying, like, we didn't have the choice. We were drafted, and we're treated as though we chose to go and do all of these things. And they were drafted to participate in this war, and then when they got home, they just weren't treated well at all. So it was just such a heartbreaking experience to see how these guys just had to come home, go back to work, pick up on their families, act like nothing happened. Right, pretend like nothing happened, and then just continue to go on about their lives. And 50 years later, these guys are finally getting to tell their sides of the story and getting to express their emotions.
Well, big thanks to our viewers that responded, and you got to see the impact of something like this honor flight.
Yeah, when they got off the plane, these men were in tears. You could see them, and so many of them, it's funny because they told me they didn't want to cry on camera. You know,
Yeah.
they're trying to hold it in, but you just can't help. And even as a bystander, I'm in tears just seeing everybody holding flags, holding signs. There were people holding signs saying, "My dad is my hero. Love you, Dad." You know, when we got back into Denver, that part was a surprise to many of the veterans. They knew that there, I think, was going to be a welcome when we landed out east, but then when we got back to Denver, there were bands, there were hundreds of people. It was such a huge and welcoming honor for them.
And there's a special connection for you as part of the Army Reserves. We thank you for your service as well, and we thank all those folks who went to Washington, D.C. for their service as well. Lauren, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, guys.